keep in mind, my opinion is simply that. It is my opinion. It is not law. It is not fact. It is an opinion. If you disagree with my opinion, that is okay. Opinions are like assholes. We've all got one. So, I want to say this as well. Don't take what I say too seriously. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the TikTok debate for women of if you had to be abandoned in the woods, would you rather be left in the woods with a bear or a man? And the resounding response has overarchingly been a man. A bear, sorry. I don't know what that is, sorry. And everybody, all the men on TikTok are very bothered and calling women unreasonable for picking the bear. Now, I want to tell you my opinion on this. I agree. I think if I had to choose between a man or a bear, I'm choosing a bear. Now, I want to pause for just a moment before every man in my comments, or every man that this hits on YouTube is in my comment section talking about how I'm fat, ugly, and obnoxious, and no man would want me anyways, first of all. Second of all, I am not saying that is every man in the world. I know great men. I've had the pleasure of meeting and having in my life several great men. However, if we're talking in general, a general life statement of would I rather choose a bear or a man, the percentage of men that are good is very small, and it seems to be smaller by the day. So I would choose the bear. Now here's my logic. There are people over here telling all their stories and stuff. I don't want to do that. That's not what this is for. But I do want to say this. The reason I'm picking the bear is because the bear has no conscience. The bear is acting purely on its animalistic instinct. It is completely and 100% I am a bear, and that is all I know. If it were frightened, or it were hungry, or it were enraged, or felt threatened, it would attack, and it would maul you, and more than likely kill you. Men are not that courteous. A man could take you, he could keep you, he could starve you, he could harass you, he could make you miserable, he could do unspeakable things we're not going to get into here with you, to you, and then leave you where you are, whether that be to die or whether that be to escape out of the woods and be a person again and deal with the traumas. Now, I've seen some great responses from women. I've seen some great responses from men, and one that stuck out to me was one I saw this morning of a man who was a police officer in a large city. I think it may be New Jersey. And he said that his wife asked him if their daughter were to be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear, who would he choose it to be? And the man also said the bear. And his reasoning was that he was a police officer, and he had seen some horrific, horrible things that men have done to each other and to women, and that bears are simply there to complete a task. They are not there for thrills or getting their kicks. They are just there to be of their fate. They're afraid, they're fighting, they're whatever. That's what they're there for. And so he said that he would choose the bear as well. And he also said that some of the things that he had not seen, but he had heard of happening in his precinct or his area, were myself because I'm not the most gorgeous person in the world, but I've been followed multiple times by multiple creeps. Like, I've had to go to the police station because people have followed me in my car on the way home. And you're like, oh, you're paranoid. Wrong. You're loud and you're wrong. Because if I'm paranoid, if I'm like, oh, this person's been on my tail for too long, and we seem to make every turn together and seem a little suspect, I'll make extra turns. And I mean, I will make so many turns that it doesn't make sense. I'll double back, basically. Like, I will make a full, like, square of turns and then go the same direction. How many times do you think people are doing that behind you at the same time you're doing it? You know what I'm saying? Like, people invalidate women's feelings, and you might think, well, that's because you just say a man, you don't say a creep or a person who's into whatever or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because I'm not going to specify what kind of bear either. I'm just going to say a bear versus a man. And then, like, there's a story that has come out about 4 men and a monitor lizard. I'm not going to talk about that here, but if you care, look it up. But basically, people are like, it's not even just women. Like, it's not even women, it's animals, it's everything. Men are like this in general, and it's like, and I get and I don't understand something. I'm a huge advocate for men as well. I'm not like a feminist. It's like, fuck men and blah blah blah. Fuck the patriarchy. That's not me. But I'm a big advocate for men. I think the good men should be screaming from the rooftops that they're good and whatever, and I think they deserve the praise that men heck deserve. I get it, but I don't think here's the thing. If I handed you a packet of crackers, I handed you a whole case of them in one box, and they were like, I don't know, 20 options. In those 20 options, I said to you, hey, by the way, 10 packs of crackers are poison. And if you have one bite of one of those poison crackers in that bag, you will die immediately. Are you gonna go through that and be like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe, I want this cracker, and even try the idea of eating a cracker that could be poison to kill you originally? No, because you're not starving to death. This is a real life scenario, like you're in your normal life and I'm dropping a box of crackers at your doorstep. No. You're gonna say, okay, well, I've got a 50-50 shot and it's just for a snack. I'm not gonna risk that in my life over a damn pack of crackers. So no, it's not all men, but it's enough that when women see things that give them a red flag, it's a point of notice. And it's not worth the risk. The trauma, the threat is not worth the risk. If you can prevent anything in your life, you should want to prevent it. So, like, I just thought that was interesting. Now, along that same vein, kind of, a guy and his girlfriend came out on TikTok as well and said, hold on, let me see if I can find their names. Give me 1 second. Okay. He said, I literally saved this in my collections on TikTok, like my favorites, as something to talk about. I have a folder that says YouTube video ideas. Okay, so this is Mads Lewis says social media is not paying as much as it used to before. Her boyfriend talked about his transparency about their income and says they're low on money after purchasing their house, and social media isn't paying as much as it used to. What is the man's name? Because let's see. even know who she is either, but that's the only name I got here. Mads Lewis. Hayden. I think his name is Hayden. Okay, his name's Hayden. I don't know what his last name is. I don't care. So, he went on her podcast and said, that he had a video that he worked an hour on not do as well as he wanted it to do, and it only made $4,000. Now, I want to go ahead and take a minute, and I can maybe do this later. I've made a little bit of money off of YouTube. I think I've been monetized for, hold on, well, let me just check. Hell, I don't care. It's not that big of a deal, right? Okay, let's see. I can give you the month. I think it should be on here. I have been, well, damn, I can't find it. Hold on, there we go. I have been monetized for, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 6th month, so I've been monetized since late November. I have in total been paid 3 times. I've made less than I've made about $300. I mean, listen, that's nothing to scoff your nose at. It's a great little side hustle. I'm very happy with it, and it grows as I do, which is cool. But $300 in 6 months versus $4,000 in an hour, or 4 hours worth of work. Now, let me tell you something, and I'm going to throw out a hypothetical here because I know y'all can't answer me. Any of y'all make $4,000 an hour at your job? Any job, I don't care what you're doing. Any of y'all make it $4,000 an hour? I know I'm surely the hell not. I'm not making it work close to that. I'm not even making like a 16th of that. Like, come on. It is unrealistic to think that that is low. That is so tone deaf and crazy to me. It makes my sick to my stomach. It's absolutely insane to me that people think genuinely, and that's why I talk so much shit about big influencers like this, because people will fucking whine and complain about opportunities that people would die for. And I just don't understand why we're so quick. And I've seen a lot of people be like, why do we make all these people famous? We gotta stop making these irrelevant people famous. And I think that's true. I do think that's very valid. And I don't know anything about these people, so maybe I shouldn't say that specifically, but I just don't get the idea that it's okay and it's fine to just be, I don't know, just cool, fine, and dandy, and just talk all this shit, and it's totally fine. Do you know what money like that would do for people who are paycheck to paycheck? Okay, so I saw somebody break this down because they're getting absolutely fucking eaten alive online, and I saw somebody say, if you work, I think it might have been $15 an hour, you work 30 days in a month. You work all 30 days of the month. You don't even make $4,000 for the month. And you're complaining about an hour's worth of work. Now listen, could that be a lower CPM for him? Maybe it is, but you have to be realistic. A lower CPM for you is not warranting you going online and complaining about how social media is not paying you what social media wants you to pay you. Excuse me, pardon, what are you talking about? People kill me with that shit, you guys. I do not get it at all. It is so crazy. I am so baffled, and I saw it and I immediately was like, what? People would kill to be in your position. And listen, if if you're working super hard and you're doing hours and hours and hours worth of stuff, then maybe I'd give you, okay, that maybe isn't enough and whatever, but like, I just is out of touch with reality, the shit that so many YouTubers and influencers have, that like you do literally like virtually nothing and you get paid exorbitantly for it, is the craziest thing to me. And we've just accepted that that's like the going rate of being an influencer. Like, they just get to be like 9 to 10 tax brackets above the rest of us, and that's like just totally cool. Like, it's like not a big deal. Like, and these aren't even like mega influencers. These are like mediocre, like 4 or 5 million follower influencers. Like, I remember like back in the day there were like 30-40 million subscriber influencers, and they were huge. Like a couple million wasn't shit for a while, and even now I don't feel like it's anything. Like, I mean, I would be ecstatic to have 1 million of you guys, but I don't think it's like, you're not a mega influencer like you used to be. 1 million, 5 million used to be like an unachievable number. Like, it used to be a huge deal. Like, think about how much of a chokehold that like Zoella and all them had, and I think at the time she had like 5-6 million subs. Like, right now that's not even that like large of a subscriber count when you got like PewDiePie and Mr. Beast and all these people who are out here making mega millions, like doing all this stuff. The sidemen aren't even that big. They just got their hands in the entirety of the fucking UK. Like, bro, they're practically the damn parliament. Like, it's crazy. Like, and I have respect for them because they've employed so many people and they've made it an empire. They've made it a time where, as long as what they do is sustainable, they can literally make enough money to never have to work again. Like, as long as you're being realistic. And speaking of them, one of them went on the podcast the other day and said that they had like a $50,000, 50,000 pounds per person trip, which is like, I want to say it's like $55,000 maybe. Let's see. 55,000 GBP in dollars. So that is, hello. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, that's my fault. Hold on. That is, I lied, that's almost $70,000. $69,114.38. So we'll round it up to 70 grand per person for a trip. I mean, if you're doing that for a trip, imagine how much money you're making for a vacation. That's a vacation, it's like a week-long vacation. $70,000. That's more than most people make in a year. Like, what? What the hell? Like, there is so much money to be made in this industry if you know how to do it. And sometimes I find that very comforting because I feel like I've grown pretty quickly, or at least in my little bubble, I feel like I have. And so I feel like if I worked harder and profiting off of this a little bit more, I probably could like make something of it. But I just like the personable aspect of it. Like, I don't know. I just thought I wanted to hear y'all's take on this. I wanted to tell you my take on it. And I just thought we could have a little cute conversation about it because I thought it was very intriguing. So in the comments, let me know what you're thinking about all this mess and just general pop culture foolishness that happens from TikTok. Because speaking of, TikTok has officially 9 months to sell to a US person, or they are banished and they're gone forever. So enjoy your potentially last 9 months of TikTok. If it does get banned, you absolutely know they're gonna make another app. Mark Zuckerberg will probably make a knockoff app or something. We'll make it to go. It's all good. But on that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you have a great night. I hope you get rest and relaxation. And I hope you guys had a beautiful weekend and a great Monday. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.